Frequency Matters, the RF and Microwave Update series. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm here with my co-host Gary LaRude. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the November 5G and IoT-themed issue products. As a reminder, the cover feature is written by authors from Infineon about GaN on silicon for RF power amplifiers, the best of both worlds. They're trying to achieve the best performance by still reducing the cost significantly over GaN on silicon carbide, which is commonly used today. So haven't seen a lot of this qualified. A few companies have tried it, but this may be the start of the beginning of that going forward with GaN on silicon. So Gary, we had an MVP this month, which we haven't had in a while. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, our MVP is very interesting. It's from Anritsu. They have a new line of signal generators that they're calling the rubidium line, and they offer either 20 or 43.5 gigahertz upper frequency range. They say these have atomic grade frequency stability, judged by a phase noise of minus 140 dBc per hertz at a 10 kilohertz offset from a 10 gigahertz carrier. And the way they achieve this really good performance is to use a low phase noise Yig oscillator that covers 2 to 20 gigahertz, and it's locked to an internal reference. The Yig output is down converted by a direct analog converter, so that eliminates a frequency divider and any phase noise degradation within the phase lock loop. For the higher frequency option, they have a frequency multiplier and frequency divider followed by a power amp and harmonic filtering to get the frequency range up to 43.5 gigahertz. So very impressive product.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a winner. For Tech Briefs, we had Excel RF's millimeter wave sidecar module that was designed to be combined with the company's characterization platform and RF fixtures to create a single channel ovenized RF test chamber. And then we also had Microchip with their GaN power amplifier Mimic, and it delivers 10 watts of saturated output power from 27.5 to 31 gigahertz for SATCOM applications. In the last episode, we covered a few acquisitions, but that's calmed down a little bit in the last couple of weeks. So I wanted to cover a few interesting news items on the research front. BAE Systems was awarded development contracts from DARPA to advance quantum technology and revolutionize RF sensing by breaking the constraints to antenna designs. They're leveraging quantum sensing that can reduce size and increase sensitivity and accessible bandwidth by several orders of magnitude. Since quantum sensing relies on fundamentally different physics than conventional antennas, this may allow them to circumvent some of the traditional aperture design limits for sensitivity and size. And it could be very interesting to follow these projects, so we hope to maybe get some articles on them.
Yeah, it sounds fascinating.
Also, Acorn Technologies announced a research collaboration with Professor Jean-Pierre Raskin of UC Leuven in Belgium to assess and quantify the performance potential of the company's Acorn buried stressor technology for RF semiconductor manufacturing. The Acorn buried stressor technology is a proprietary semiconductor strain technology that boosts performance for both legacy and future FD-SOI technologies. The technology can provide 15 to 25% performance boost for RF FD-SOI devices, and it increases the electron mobility through strain. So this is accomplished without any trade-offs on performance or yield, so it should be a promising technology for the future. So Gary, what did you see in the news?
Couple items. The latest FCC auction, 100 megahertz of spectrum from 3.45 to 3.55 gigahertz, what they call Auction 110, raised $21.8 billion during the so-called clock phase, and they had about 4,041 of the 4,060 available generic blocks that were won. Bidders were vying for 10 megahertz blocks licensed by partial economic area. And the FCC says this was among the highest grossing auctions in U.S. history. The next step is the assignment phase, where the licenses are actually assigned to operators. And then Qualcomm recently outlined their vision to basically parlay their mobile leadership into a $700 billion multi-market opportunity built on what they call intelligent edge computing. And they say its technologies for mobile dovetail into a common roadmap to address all of these opportunities, which represent a 7 times SAM growth for them. So quite impressive there.
Yeah, I listened to the Qualcomm keynote for their investor day. It was very interesting to see they're really pushing technologies in automotive and mobile and some other areas to diversify. They've also captured a large portion of the RF front-end market too, and they're boasting that they're leading that technology and the market size. Turning to events, we're holding a full-day online event December 15th with Cadence. It's called Design and Analysis Solutions for Integrated RF Systems Forum, and it will consist of 5 talks, including a keynote, along with sessions on the design of an integrated phased array, modeling of MMIC PAs for communications, EM analysis for RFIC and system design, and RF front-end simulations with standard compliant signal processing. So it should be a great event. You can register for it in the events section of the Microwave Journal website.
Yeah, and we're wrapping up the first year of our successful panel series, and kudos to you, Pat, for the idea and doing most of the legwork to get this thing launched. This week I had the opportunity to moderate a really interesting discussion on the state of IoT, and we had 4 panelists representing Skyworks, Renesas Electronics, Richardson RFPD, and Sierra Wireless, and quite insightful, I thought. I learned a lot. If you missed it, it's available to watch on demand at the Microwave Journal website under Events. And looking forward, our December panel will cover 4D radar sensors for auto radar, advanced driver assistance systems, and in-cabin sensing. We have 4 panelists for that. And with rapid technology advances and new applications, this will be a really interesting discussion, so worth watching. So make a note on your calendar, December 14th, and register for that at the Events tab. And before we conclude this episode, another reminder that you can subscribe to Microwave Journal and our newsletters for free. The magazine has deep technical articles covering technology, design, and markets, and our newsletters are a good way to keep up with news and articles, and they tend to be focused on topics like 5G and aerospace and defense, so you can pick the ones that match your interests. We want to thank our sponsor for this episode, Pasternak. Pasternak is a global supplier of RF microwave components. They're supported by 19 international distributors to support customers in more than 35 countries. They have an inventory of more than 40,000 products available for same-day shipment. Thanks everyone for watching. Join us again on the next Frequency Matters.